Welcome to Daily Life Connection, our video talk time, as we continue to explore who God is and how He works and what difference that makes in how we live out our daily lives. Today I want to focus on Psalm chapter 3, verse 3, one of my favorites, and it says this. It says, "You, O Lord, are a shield around me, and my glory and the lifter of my head." My glory and the lifter of my head. Now there's three wonderful things in that one little verse, isn't it? My shield, my glory, and the lifter of my head. But I want to focus on that last one today. I can remember many times when our children were young, in particular, when they would be discouraged or upset, sometimes with us as parents, or sometimes just because they were going through a tough time at school or with their friends or whatever. I can remember often my wife would take her fingers and put them under the chin of the child she was talking to, whichever one of our three it was, and she would just lift their head up and say, "I want you to look right at Mummy. Look me in the face. Look me in the face." And when the child raised their head up and looked, many times the first response I would see was our son or daughter would begin to smile. Their countenance changed from looking down, feeling sad, discouraged, not sure what to do, to looking up with confidence at someone who loved them and believed in them and would be there to support them and to bless them in whatever choices they made and guide them. There was a confidence that came by having your head lifted so that you could gaze in the face of that parent who loves you. I think that's the picture that we have here in this psalm. It is a picture of God gently lifting our face until we look Him in the face. And as we do, we see someone who loves us, who believes in us, who is confident for our future, who wants the best for us, who will stand with us and guide us. And when we do, it changes our countenance. It changes not only on our face, but the countenance of our heart, I believe, begins to change as well. That's what happens in prayer time, really, isn't it? When we come to God in prayer, part of what we're doing is saying, "Father, would you lift my head? Would you lift my chin until I gaze at your face?" In Psalm 27:7, one of my favorite scriptures, the writer is writing and he says, "When my heart says, 'Seek your face, Lord,' your face I will seek." And one translation says, "When my heart says, 'Seek your presence, Lord,' your presence I will seek." I think that's part of what this is talking about. When we come to God in prayer, it's not with a shopping list of what needs to be done or what we think needs to be done. Sometimes my kids would do that when my wife or I would say to them, "Just listen," and they'd start with, "What this is what's wrong, this is what's happened, and this is what I can't, and this is this," and it was like, "Shh, look me in the face, look me in the face, take a breath. Now, let's talk about this." That, I think, is the essence of prayer, coming into His presence so that He can draw our gaze upward, outward from ourselves and upward from our circumstances, gazing full in His wonderful face, as an old chorus goes from a long time ago. "And all the things of the earth will grow strangely dim in the light of His glory and grace." Looking into His face, we see glory and we see grace. And that changes the countenance on our face and of our heart as well. And then I believe it also, we gain new perspective. When I'm focused on the darkness of my circumstance or the weariness of my heart or the confusion of what to do next or what decisions to make, when I'm focused on that and then shift my focus to the glory of God's face, to the glory and light of His presence, to His gracious, merciful, compassionate gaze in my direction. Oh, isn't that good? He gazes in my direction. And when He does, it changes the countenance of my face and the countenance of my heart. And I gain new vision. I see things in a new way. My life gets recalibrated, and I begin to see things more accurately and more clearly. And I can move on from that encounter with a new confidence, a new assurance, a new peace, a new joy, a new fullness of life, because the lifter of my head called me to focus on Him, to get my attention, to spend a moment gazing into His eyes. I just want to encourage us all today to take time somewhere through this day to do that. Just get by yourself for a little while. Might be out for a walk, might be on your back deck, might be in your prayer closet, whatever it may be. And just say, Father, would you lift my head? Get my eyes off of myself and all my circumstances and bring them up to gaze at the glory and light of your presence. And then see how the rest of the day goes after that. God bless you. We'll talk again tomorrow.